Little Hands, Big Attitude, Book 5, The Thief and the Sleeper, Chapter 5, Ups and Downs. The pair wasn't making as good a time as Rouge would have liked, but she tried to speed it up by picking Shadow up, and it had ended with him squirming and distracting her so that she crashed into another sign. He seemed to be good at making her do that.
You have got to stop doing that, Quill Pickle,
she groaned, rubbing her nose. Shadow sat on the ground with arms crossed and lips sticking out like a perturbed toddler.
Not my fault. You should have warned me you were going to do that.
I don't have to tell you everything I'm going to do.
Oh yes, you do. How else am I supposed to?
Rouge waved him off, flying up and lifting the lid of a nearby dumpster open. The cloud of stench hit her nose like a freight train and she gagged, but fought past it to dig through the giant box for anything still somewhat fresh. Shadow wrinkled his nose as the smell got to him as well.
I am not eating anything that came out of that box.
Fine. Then you can starve.
Fine.
Fine.
The word fine was getting thrown around a lot, too. Rouge perched on the edge of the dumpster, fishing through the items with one hand and holding the lid open with the other, that is, until one of her legs slipped. She yelped as she tumbled into the pile of trash, the lid slamming shut on her and plunging her into darkness.
Hey!
She tried to lift the lid, but the trash under her shifted and shuffled, preventing her from getting a good position to shove off from. Her boots kicked at the plastic lid, popping it up a few inches each time, but always falling back down.
Hey! Get me out of here! Shadow!
Well, this was just great. While she was stuck in there, he was probably making a break for it. Yes, he'd be hobbling his way down the sidewalk by now, leaving his captor behind. A few minutes passed, and then she heard a soft grunt, and then a thump against the side of the dumpster. A few seconds later, the lid was flung open, slamming into the wall behind it by Shadow using his walking stick to knock it upwards. He appeared over the side, offering a hand.
Come on.
You didn't run away?
Shadow's brows furrowed.
I promised I wouldn't, and I keep my promises.
He shrugged.
Well, as far as I am physically capable of keeping them.
Rouge took his hand and he pulled her back out of the dumpster, climbing back down off of the milk crate he'd stood on to reach.
Well, this one didn't have anything worth eating in it anyway. I guess we'll both just...
She looked down as Shadow held out an opened, but fresh bag of potato chips.
Where did you find this?
She flipped it over.
They aren't even expired yet.
Shadow shrugged.
Whatever.
Rouge took the bag and shoved a handful into her face.
Come on. We're only a little bit from the hideout now.
Great. And then once you're back where you belong, I can be on my way.
Excuse me. When was that the deal?
You said so yourself. I go with you to the hideout without trying to escape, and you don't hurt me. But we never said that I had to stay once I got there.
Ha! Like the guild would let you get away that easily.
Hand over the glowing rock in your pocket, and I'll show you how fast I can get away.
Rouge's humored look disappeared, and she placed a hand over the pocket in question.
Nice try, Quill Pickle. Come on, we've got to keep moving before we're noticed by someone.
But if they do, I could just knock them out with my stick.
Bullets kinda trump stick. Sorry.
The amused expression on the hedgehog's face vanished almost immediately, dropping off into wide, distant eyes looking at the ground. Rouge paused, smacking her forehead as she remembered his startled expression from the laser rifle back at the fairgrounds. He was afraid of guns and bullets, so she needed to keep from mentioning them. She squeezed his hand a little tighter in reassurance.
But that's not gonna happen. It'll be fine, right?
Right.
Shadow mumbled, finally looking up at her.
Right? Let's go.
Rouge's words had struck something, if only Shadow could recall what it had been. Guns. Bullets. They played some important role in his history, but whenever he heard or saw them, the resulting memory was there and gone before he had a chance to properly acknowledge it. Like a leaf on the wind, brushing his cheek and then being ripped away into the swirling air, it was a memory, one with emotional value, that refused to be grasped. He had to wonder if there was a reason, a cause for him to keep his own memories away from him. Was his old life so bad? Had it been so hard and miserable that his own mind refused to allow him to think about it? Rouge led him through alleyways and small trails between buildings, pulling him back behind dumpsters and walls whenever a human approached. They seemed rather fascinating, not like him, and not like Rouge. They were the odd ones here, but why? Why weren't there more like them? After several moments of pondering this, he decided to ask.
Why aren't we like humans?
Because we're not human.
But why?
Rouge didn't really answer the question, instead mumbling something about him acting like a toddler with such questions. Shadow quieted down again, deciding to save further questions for later. The further they walked, the less human activity they encountered. The buildings grew larger, but spread further apart, broken up by large patches of road and fields surrounding blocks of concrete and metal. The road led to open spaces of concrete, striped with lines of white in rectangular shapes.
What are those boxes for?
They're parking spaces. It's a parking lot.
For transportation vehicles.
Yes.
Then why are they empty?
Because the guild takes pride in avoiding detection. This place used to be a factory of some kind before we took it over. Now come on.
Shadow winced as she tugged him along into the alley between two of the buildings, approaching the smaller of the two and pressing a series of numbers on buttons by the door. An irritating buzz came from it, and then she tried again. Another buzz.
Oh, come on! Don't tell me they changed the code while I was gone again?
Shadow took this moment to relax a bit, leaning against the wall and watching the bat fiddle with the buttons over and over.
Did you try all of the old codes?
That's what I'm doing now, dimwit!
Shadow was still for a moment, and then hobbled over to the door.
Let me try.
Oh, like you're gonna get the code for a secret thief organization's HQ on the first try.
Rouge threw her hands up.
But fine, knock yourself out.
Shadow looked over the buttons for a moment, and then pressed his hand over the pad of numbers. There was a flicker of gold from his hand, the same gold that had taken out the lights a short time ago, and then the door chimed and clattered, popping open with a loud creak.
You were saying?
Rouge stared at the door.
You just... Ha!
She walked over to the door and pulled it open a bit more.
You may be worth something to the guild after all, Quill Pickle.
Shadow hobbled after her, entering an almost silent space after the door clattered shut behind them. Flickering artificial lights, igniting a bland room of gray walls and bland carpet.
So far, this world has been a lot more blah than I was expecting.
What's that supposed to mean?
Shadow shrugged.
I guess I just expected more. Swirling colors and spontaneous action. Not brown grass and gray, creepy rooms like this.
Normal to me.
Rouge looked around and then went to a set of doors, pressing another button.
Come on, we'll take the elevator.
Rouge.
Shadow pointed to a big paper sign over the doors.
That says the elevator is out of order.
It just says that to keep Snoops from finding the base downstairs. Besides, if we try to take the stairs with this hobbling of yours, it'll take us all night to get down there.
Shadow bit his lip, looking at the doors as they opened and a bell gave a sad and pathetic whine. This was a bad idea, this was absolutely a bad idea, but she had a point. There was no way he was going to make it down flights of stairs like this, not quickly or easily, anyway. He entered the elevator and immediately wanted to jump back out. He grasped the bar on the edge, his legs trembling under him.
It's fine. Nothing's going to happen.
It's not that.
Shadow closed his eyes tightly, trying to slow his breathing and stay calm.
I don't think I like small enclosed spaces.
Probably from being in that capsule for so long.
Shadow didn't know if that was the case, but the jolt of the elevator's movement knocked his wobbly legs enough that he dropped to the floor, still grasping the bar over his head. He started to count in his head, trying to keep his mind off of his circumstance.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
The elevator suddenly jolted hard, and he heard Rouge get knocked down too as it came to a sharp stop in the shaft. He clung to the bar, listening as the hum of the elevator ended abruptly, followed by loud screeching and groans.
What the heck?
Rouge got up, and he heard her pushing buttons repeatedly, giving irritated groans as she did so.
Erg. Come on. Come on.
He opened one eye, finding the lights from before were out, leaving them in darkness, hovering somewhere between point A and point B. He closed his eye again.
Told you the elevator was out of...
Oh, shut up.